So it'd be our Lammas in between summer solstice and autumnal equinox. Halloween in between autumnal equinox and winter solstice, which is also the birthday of Ra and the birthday of Horus and
February 2nd.
and Lok. Anybody have questions? Or are you not allowed to speak?
She's not here, you can talk to her.
I got outmothered. All right.
What about the moon here?
The moon is actually the 13th sign, which in Egypt was Imhotep, and the only sign of the zodiac that was given to a human being who was the designer who built the pyramids. And when the zodiac was taken from Egypt, that sign was taken away because that would have been a sheer clue that the zodiac had come from Egypt, and nobody wanted that. So,
Is the Ace of Coins, is that, what is the coin?
Oh, the Ace of Coins, that's the Ace of Coins, that's the earth sign.
Is the profile of someone in particular?
Oh, it's a coin from the Ptolemy era, even though it's representative of that suit is actually representative of Hyksos. They didn't really have coins early on, they had coins later. And the interesting thing about coins is that coins were just a marker for, like if you gave me a cow, you sold me a cow, and I would be trading you for grain. And I couldn't give you enough weight of grain to equal that cow. I would have to give you coins in order for you to come back and get the rest of your grain, because you wouldn't want to take a whole measure of cow for the grain because it would just go to waste. So you would take these coins, which were really only worth their weight in grain, and you'd come back later to collect your grain. And that's the real use of money. And
Shekel.
So it was
the
bartering,
shekel,
really?
right? And shek is actually a word for barley. So
Okay.
shekel is that, and we've lost track of that. And we probably need
Now
to
it's the
get
money
that
that's
back.
important and not.
Now it's
But our money's
now
not
we've
for
collected
nothing.
the money, and the money
It's the
has
cow that's
become-
worth something.
Right, it's the cow that's worth something. It's the barley that's worth something.
The labor.
Yes, it's because nobody can eat the gold. You can make a cup out of it, but right, that's
care,
all
right.
you can do with it. So, anybody else have questions?
How long is this project taking you?
I started in the fall of 2009, and I finished in May of, actually April 31st of
There's no April 31st.
2000.
April 30th.
2013. So, yeah. And I'm still kind of working on books, so.
Do you, when you always, this afternoon, you were talking a lot about getting this and getting that. So when you're doing something like this, do you always dream it? Are you always like totally immersed in it?
Yeah, I'm always on.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
hard.
And
A little
then,
bit like
Your family loves you.
and then we go to Peter and say, so how is that? With when she's totally immersed.
I
Well,
kind
in-
of lose my
We're kind
wife
of
for a
both
few
that
years,
way.
Yeah.
That
but
way.
she's gone in
But
the
I
portal.
lose time when I'm working, and that is kind of hard on him, because I can be lost for 5 hours in a thing, and I'll think that like an hour has passed, and like, holy cow, it's 5 o'clock? Oh man, I didn't make anything for dinner.
Well, we all have that problem.
Yeah.
So I'm eating the cat kibble.
Famine again.
It's all about the art. It's all about the art.
That actually is the joke. What are we having for dinner, Mom?
Famine.
Oh, good, we love
That's the
famine.
famine.
If you would ask like my daughter or my son what we're having for dinner, that would be their first.
That would be the answer.
Famine.
Famine again, because Mom's been working all day.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to cook.
No. Are you kidding?
Wait,
Then I would have to learn to mow the lawn.
children are,
There are roles in our house. Although my children have learned to cook
mine
now.
too.
Yeah.
We actually did cooking classes. They both moved home for various reasons temporarily. So once a week they picked out a menu and they
Now I
cooked.
get a text, Mom, how long does it take to boil
Yeah.
noodles?
Or, how do you buy broccoli? Do you buy broccoli? I'm like, well, what are you talking talking about. Well, okay, do you want it raw? Do you want it frozen? Do you?
Right.
Can you explain what the object is in there?
It would put
The-
the
in the
ace
ace?
in the system.
Yeah, that was
In the
Oh, the
A's?
sistrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the
Because
sistrum.
Because I don't
is-
exactly know what.
Right.
Yeah.
The sistrum represents the one.
Right.
And it actually is something that you would shake to move the energy, get the blocked energy moving. And it's for clearing negativity, it's for clearing. So when you see the woman, Hathor, there with her sistrum, she's like the high priestess, she's shaking things up. So when I do my Virgo symbol, and you can see Virgo in here somewhere.
Where's the laser pointer?
Where's my laser light, Joe? She's right here. And the whole thing with Virgo here is she's got her sistrum, but she's got someone behind her. And in the real ceiling, he's got like this sling of meat hanging over, so he's like set with this dismembered piece. So it's very shamanic, the dismembering. So what the high priest does is he's the Shem, who is the one who dismembers, and she's the one that puts it back together. So they each have a job. It's like the waxing and the waning moon, kind of. So it's this whole thing is they're very much a nature religion, and very much into symbolism and the inside world being reflected in the outside world. And it was something that I really could understand, and it really felt right to me. So that's the sistrum, and if you have a sistrum, you can use it to clear your house and clear cats out of your clear them right out. I can't even pick it up
Faster than a vacuum cleaner.
faster than a vacuum cleaner. I can't even pick it up without them scattering to the four winds.
It has a definite distinct sound to it.
I
mean,
think
it's
it does
not really
something
that
to
pleasant.
their
It's
Probably
pretty to
too
listen to,
high
but
pitch.
Yeah.
it's
There's
definitely
many-
shakes things up, gets it moving.
Yeah. I have a sister.
Yeah, it was, we saw it somewhere.
I saw it at the show.
Yeah.
At the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used
Is
to.
there symbology to the pelt next to the sistrum?
Well, the pelt, that leopard skin,
Yeah.
is something that would be worn by the priest. And if you've gone through initiation, that means that you've gone through the belly of the animal. You've gone through this initiation, and you're allowed to wear the animal skin. So you have to be initiated in order to wear the animal skin. Some kind of intense initiation.
I had the pleasure today of spending many, many hours. So I've been immersed in all of these rooms today. And the wands are confusing me.
Because they're air.
Oh, okay.
But
But and the symbology changes.
yeah. Yeah, it does change the energy. But with me, the swords are fire, because
Yeah.
the creative energy of fire, it's the west and it's fire. And the directions are different, because in Egypt, the setting sun is the portal to the far world. And the sun goes down into the ground, but it also comes back up. It's the renewal. And the swords are created by fire. And the east is the air, and it's all change comes from your mind. Once you change your mind, that's the magic. You change your mind, you can change your thoughts, you can change your thoughts are things, right? So that's where I'm coming from. And swords are dangerous, and fire is dangerous. And when people decided to have swords be air, it was a time when no one had lived through the wars. They've only read about the wars. They'd only read about wars. So 1909, with Rider-Waite and swords being air, everything was literary. Wars were literary. We've been through a century of war. We know that swords are dangerous, and I'm going to just say it how it is. And, it's not inspiration. It's fire, and it's dangerous, and you use it with care. Just like you would use a kitchen knife with care.
And the forge produces the sword as well.
That's right.
So but when you're using the different imagery though to represent the wands, so you've got sistrum there, but in some of the pics you've got the snake
Right.
cobra staffs, and then
Yeah.
there's this other. I don't know what that other staff is, the weird goat head kind of thing.
Right.
And So is that also meaningful, why you
Yes.
chose those
Yes,
different
it
images
is.
for those
It
cards?
is. They each have, yes.
Like the staff the fool's got is what you're talking about?
Yes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the
Well, those are
crook
the-
and
well,
flail.
it's the crook
That's
and
the
the
crook and the
flail.
flail, but there's this other staff on
With
the
a little,
floor.
it's got like almost like a set head on it.
Yeah.
And that has to do with the physical body. That has to do with the physical.
Then what
body.
about the cobra heads?
And the cobra heads, well, that is about, the magic of shedding a skin, and that's actually based on the biblical story of Aaron putting down,
Oh,
His-
putting on a staff and turning
down
into a
and it
snake?
turns into a real snake as opposed to the three snakes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Wow, it's interesting to me that you use swords that way, because when I first started to read, to me swords were fire. And I had a hard time getting
Oh,
that
really?
they were air, yes.
Oh, right, so you're feeling very comfortable with the fire.
Yeah, to me they were
Yeah,
fire
me too.
because of the way swords were made and what they were like.
Right.
And I had to keep correcting myself, no, swords are air.
See, you should have trusted yourself.
I should have,
We should all trust
trusted.
ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. So that was, wow.
I'm kind of a rebel that way.
Well, but I like that. It made sense to me.
And I don't expect anyone to like take my word for it. I mean, I'm telling you stories about what I was thinking, not what you should think. So
Right.
that's basically.
We're telling you they make sense though.
Oh, yeah.
I like it when people agree with me.
I said because I'm right.
I feel like it's right. But when I feel like it's something that I've said is wrong, I'll change it.
Yeah.
So
I'm willing
wands,
to change it.
do you kind of see the wands as being a transformative
Magic.
magic? And so, which is interesting about that with the cobras as well, is that while they're shedding their skin, the cobra, any snake is blind, they can't see. And there's a lot of, in order to emerge fresh and new and be able to see things differently, you've got to shed that skin. So there's that kind of emergence.
I got
That's
that.
interesting.
I got that from our friend Billy Crow because he had a snake, and then he had done some ritual with you, and he said when a snake, well, you can't see where you're going, it's because you're shedding the skin. And so when I did that picture, I kind of felt like that was for him. And so when I honored his teaching on that one, because it made sense to me. And that's kind of the whole symbolism of the Ten of Wands, is that they're usually carrying so much burden that they can't see where they're going. And so there's that blindness while you're in transition, that same blindness.
Because a lot of times you don't
when
know
you
where
have the
you're
burden,
going.
right? Well, all the time. You
Well,
don't know where you're going.
it sure feels
Until
that
you
way.
arrive, and then
Yeah,
it's like, oh,
right.
that's where I was going.
Oh,
Okay. Well, that was cool. I meant to do that.
Like a cat,
Well, I
right?
think what we'll do, that you guys can keep talking, but I'd like a first reader and a first client. And then I'll set you up downstairs. The only rule with downstairs is you can't bring any drink or food.